Welcome back to What Makes You Tick Best Bits. There was an episode we did a few short months ago with a brilliant guy called Rachit Kataria, who's the co founder and CEO of a company called Centralize. They've just come out of Y Combinator. And since we spoke, they've raised 4 million at their seed funding stage from Salesforce Ventures, and they're on a really interesting growth trajectory. We got to Ratchet before that even happened, and we had a brilliant conversation about the problem they're solving in the marketplace with their AI startup. But also, there was a part of the conversation that we've selected for this best bits where he really spoke about what it's like being a founder. Like, what's the hard stuff that no one talks about? What's it like in terms of the mentality, the mindset, the importance of a co-founder? How is he dealing with that? And then juggling all of those things that the business needs with where his specialities are, where his co-founder strengths are, what the business needs, what customers need, and then how we can go and take this out into the world and go and get some traction and build some relationships and build some customers. And I don't think there are many more founders at his stage as active as Ratchet is on LinkedIn. On top of that, he's just a really nice guy, very, very smart, super, super ambitious. And he's built an amazing business with his partner as well. So without further ado, I'm going to play this clip for you. If you like the conversation, we'll put a link to the full podcast in the show notes. But enjoy. Meet Ratchet and meet Centralize. It's obviously not all roses. It's not all like this perfect plan. You know, we go and pitch to YC, we do 3 months, we come out, we're graduated, we get some money, we go and raise some, if we go and, start to win some customers. What have been some of the more challenging moments and the biggest lessons that you've had to learn on this journey so far?
Definitely much more than the successes. That's for sure. Like it's been founding is not for the faint of heart. It's Will and I intentionally went down this path of knowing it's probably the hardest thing we could be doing in our careers. And if we can take the risk while we can and just like go in hyper learning mode and try this out, worst case, we have an insane amount of amazing friends that we probably would have never known in our lives had we stayed at Meta and Slack respectively. And just the biggest ambitions we had would become like be an engineering manager or director, which is amazing. Like I think you have crazy impact. Imagine being the director of like a feature at Meta that impacts 1 billion people. It's like
Yeah.
it is a very, very valuable place to be working too, and like what you can get access to. But for us, yeah, it was always about like how do we do the hardest things? And I think a lot of those challenges, especially in the early days, even during Y Combinator, is this like ongoing existential dread in the back of your head that all these hours and sacrifices you're making and the compromise for your family and time spent with friends and everything you used to do before being a
Mm,
founder that
mm,
has now been thrown to the wayside is all worth something. Like you're
mm,
hopefully on the right track and you're building something that
mm.
matters.
Yeah.
And like the very quick realization you'll get when you build a company is that basically the world owes you nothing, right? Like you could have had all the success in the world and whatever you want to define that as in your career historically, but if you're not building something people care about, you'll be humbled very, very fast.
Yeah.
That why should anyone ever respond to you? Why do you deserve a response from that cold email, from that intro? You don't. You're like a random person on the street that no one knows, right? Like even if no people know you, if you don't have anything of value, they're busy. Like everyone's busy. So I think a lot of that was the learnings in the beginning of like how do we refine what we're saying and what we're bringing and just who we are as people and the like energy we want to bring that would make anyone just feel like, yeah, it's like worth a 30-minute chat. And like, this is cool to learn from them or like hear what they're up to. And being able to do that and slowly iterating on what we thought was a very specific problem we wanted to solve in January and February, getting a very quick existential dread in March because it wasn't working in reality. Like there was a very specific thing we were trying to do back then, which was this idea of a almost like a customer GPT, if you will. It was just taking all of the conversations and throwing it into this big pile of data per account and then saying, hey, let's like basically give you a customer GPT, kind of like chat GPT that you click and can chat with any of your conversations and help really any still go to market individual feel like they have a story about the account. You can kind of squint and it's not too far from what I'm describing what the new product is.
Sure.
Not even new, kind of it's a
Yeah.
reframing.
Yeah.
But what took a lot of pain and hundreds of conversations and existential back and forths and chats with our founders, like partners at YC, and Will and I like looking at the whiteboard, being like, is this a good use of the last 6 months? I don't know. Um, to realize was everything coming back to that first sentence. Deals are not won at the account level, they're won at the individual level. And it took us a long time to realize that just giving a recap of just like a sea of emails and calls and saying, here's your account overview is actually not that valuable. It's a very ambiguous problem that we're saying we can solve for you. Ask any question on whatever is happening in your account. That's not like a real problem. The real problem is, how do I understand each individual that matters and who we've got into, and whether or not I'm getting to the people that are going to influence, this end-to-end experience. That like getting to that answer and building what we built in June, 6 months after we started the company, actually 8 months after incorporation, did include 8 months of like, holy shit, what are we doing here? Like, is this the right thing? Are we spending time on a problem that people care about? And it was a bit of that idea maze for a while. And yeah, you definitely have to have a little bit of a steeled mindset on like, we will figure it out. It's not just this endless, like every call ended with maybe a 3 out of 10 excitement level from the person on the other side, because what you're doing isn't frankly that interesting. Um, and yeah, just having that great growth iterative mindset. And we have those feelings every day. It's not like that stopped. There's a bunch of challenges. Like now what we're stressing about is we have customers coming on board and we frankly don't have the engineering bandwidth to deliver in that time. So how's it going to happen? And wanting to make sure we do right by all these people that have throughout the sales cycle taken this big bet on a scrappy team, because we can and we will, with all the hiring we're doing, deliver for them. But we have to deliver. The only blocker is execution now. And that's also like always a feeling like we're not executing enough. Like we can always be building more and better for our customers. So the goalpost changes here and there, but I think yeah, there's quite a lot of existential question marks that you have to be comfortable with in the first like even now, like year or two of the business, I'm sure.
I love the honesty, and I think it's fascinating. I also think it shows a lot about the power of having a co-founder. You're not in this alone, and that would be an incredibly difficult place to be. What is that dynamic like between you and Will? And where are you both strong, and how does it complement? Give me a bit of a flavor of
Yeah,
what that feels like.
I would definitely be remiss to say that if not for Will, I would be a flailing individual. I'd be struggling hard. Like Will is a majority of the reason why like I get up every day excited about what we're building and like what we're doing, and it's largely because also Will and I have been in college friends and roommates and have built things together for a long time, almost a decade. We met first week of college, right? Uh, it's one of those kind of, you like find this out later, um, when you see other companies trying to build. And one thing is the product, like excited about what you're building, it's useful. More importantly is, are the people that are building that company actually meant to be the founders of that company? Like both in terms of their relationship together, in terms of the founder market fit of why they're the ones to win in that space. And I think that former is actually literally during the batch, we'd seen people break up and get kicked out of YC on the first week of YC because
Wow.
they thought that being co-workers back at their prior company was good enough. It's not good enough. You have to be married to that person. You're going to see that person more than potentially your partner and like, right? You probably are, given how long work goes every day, right? So
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
someone that you genuinely have to be like ecstatic to wake up to and riff with, understand what their perspectives are, go back and forth in a way that is productive and not pulling each other away from like the long-term goal.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I would say Will and I are very much on the same page. We like live and breathe relationships, and so everything we do is rooted in that. And the dynamic is, initially he's a founder engineer, I'm a founding engineer. Effectively, like we both can code, we can both sell, we can both build. I like to think our personalities are pretty, just like to have a fun time and meme around, enjoy each other's company and our customers' company. And so we did a lot of that together for like the first 6 months. And then very quickly, once we started scaling into the customer bases we have now, it became more critical to actually take a hard look at, okay, Ratchet, you're going to have to do a lot of the front of the house, marketing, sales, and take a step back from engineering for the benefit of the company.
Mm.
Because as pretty as the clothes are inside of our store, if no one's turning the revolving door, what's the point,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
Um, but Will's out here doing all things customer success and making sure everyone's happy that walks in, and what their feedback is translates to the next line of items that we ship out and put into the store, and tie that back to our customers' engineering roadmap. And so that's starting to become much more of the natural split of how we complement each other. And I think it's for the better, because those are very specific skill sets we need to be very good at.
Yeah.
But yeah, it every day we still see each other every day. At the end of every day, debrief on what needs to happen tomorrow, and it helps when you're building with your best friend.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the dream, right? That's what you need, isn't it? Because it's definitely, it's, as a founder myself, not of someone as ambitious as you, but it's a really, really hard thing to do, and you're constantly pivoting. You're constantly having, moments of crisis and then moments of euphoria, and you're just trying to work out how you can be better and what business you want to build and what business you don't want to build, and you're taking advice from everywhere. It's really complicated. So to have someone that you really trust, who's got your back, and if things are going wrong, then you have a way of working together through the problem. I think that's really powerful. I was going to ask you how you do it all, because you're very active on LinkedIn. You're talking to customers, you're selling. You talked about examples where you've been like, getting a new requirement from a call and then going and building it like within 48 hours. Why are you focusing on going to all the events, doing the networking and the LinkedIn, when you could easily have an excuse to not do it because you've got so many other priorities? Why is that something you're continuing to put such a big focus on at this stage?
Yeah. So here's what I'll say. The fun part about building a company like Centralize is we live and breathe it every day. It's a very meta experience, right? Like, all about Centralize is all about building relationships. And building relationships is at the core of everything that we want to do. It's building the personal brand and engaging with all the people that I want to build relationships on LinkedIn that see the
Yeah.
value and level we're up to. And even the reason I'm standing here today, frankly, right, is like a big piece of that is being able to say, like, hey, there's all these amazing people that care about go to network and building relationships and multi-threading. And Steven's amazing. He's one of them. Steven Newman, you're probably watching. Shout out, man. Nice. We'll catch up probably
100%.
after this. And that's the reason that, like, really cool people get to meet each other and make interest to one another, and then find themselves on a really great guy's podcast and like yapping about things all day long. Like, those are those are all outcomes of exactly putting ourselves out there and meeting people in person and online. And I don't know, it's like slightly selfish, but I I have like so many amazing people I can now call friends that I would just not know had I not embarked on this journey. Like, why, very candidly, why would a CRO of a multi-billion-dollar company ever spend 30 minutes with an engineer at Meta? I'll just say it right now. Like, what is the possible reason why I'd ever be in that scenario?
Sure.
I would not. and it's for a good reason, because that person at Meta is doing really, really good at creating a better product for Meta and scaling that company and having an amazing impact on a number that's like unfathomable for most companies to even think about as a customer base. On the flip side, what gets me so excited is like, like the conversation I can have where I'm like an equal in a room with a CRO and be able to just say, like, I can truly help you improve what you are struggling with most and like wake up with nightmares with every day, like flying blind with goggles on, and I can take those off and look at this pretty world that you didn't realize exists. And seeing them get excited on a call and like their eyes light up is such a different feeling, when it's not me just asking for time to like see what their life is like, but generally showing that to them, and them, like, again, very selfishly, that excitement makes my day very good every day. I feel really good about that.
Yeah.
So a big piece of it is just, you don't get those moments and memories and selfies and friendships without doing all those things. And all that just ladders into literally the crux of our product that we want to live and breathe every day, which is sales should be about building human relationships. Anything that helps you optimize for the human element and help you talk to more people and build those things is what the future of this industry should look like. And Centralize, hopefully, for every B2B SaaS, upmarket motion company that's out there, is the solution to help your team do exactly that, to focus on the human element of sales.
I love it. I mean, you should definitely be a founder.
I'll consider
So,
it. I'll consider it.
thank you for listening and watching this Best Bits short. If you like this, tune in next Sunday for our next special part of our favorite episodes. And if you love the main podcast, every Thursday we introduce you to a new virtual mentor so you can hear their career story and answers to the biggest questions in tech. See you on the next episode.